guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'll be covering an update or follow-up to the very popular video I covered yesterday, which is titled, Fiancée Conspired to Cheat at Bachelorette Party, Has Breakdown When Groom Exposes, Then Dumps Her. And guys, our guy here saw that I published this video last night and saw all your comments about updates and all that, so he took the time to write a follow-up as to what happened after he broke up with her. And let me tell you, it is a doozy. You are definitely going to get your money's worth today. And as you all recall, as a brief recap, that's about the guy who was with his girl for 14 years. She was literally his junior high, middle school sweetheart, all set to be married back in January, and 1 week before the wedding, they had bachelor and bachelorette parties. She forbade him from going to a club and having girls and dances and all that. And yet, what was she doing? And he found that through her Facebook Messenger and through his buddy who saw her out with her friends, that she was cheating on him and conspiring with her friends. And he, understandably, was deeply hurt by this whole thing, been with her 14 years. But the next day, boom, he's done with her. Moved out of the apartment, ended it with her, and you heard what happened then. But now you're going to hear everything that happened afterwards, and this girl is losing it. But our guy here has kept his cool, and is moving on. Is definitely a good one. This update here, yesterday was good. This is the Empire Strikes Back to his A New Hope story yesterday. It's the Wrath of Khan to the Star Trek, the movie. It is definitely a good one. So as you can see, also this is long, and I'm not going to split up in two videos, so I'm going to shut up and get right to the story. So he says here, hello SSM. Thanks again for covering my story. I didn't mention much about what happened after I confronted Emily because it's mostly drama and nothing worth learning from. But since you and your viewers wanted to know more, I'm writing this email. First, I'd like to clarify a few things people in the comment section and you brought up. A lot of you believe the bachelorette party wasn't Emily's first rodeo in the last 14 years. Well, you can't blame us, dude. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe it was, maybe it was not. The reason I said this was the first time isn't because it was the first time that I caught her. I read her group chats and personal texts with her friends. They were all pretty vocal about the fact that she hadn't done anything like that before and how much she was missing out. Okay, that's a fair point, but still, I've been doing this too long. I've lived too long, but that'd be nice to know that she never did it before, but really at this point it doesn't matter so much. It came up way more often than you'd expect because they were constantly trying to get her to join the fun, as they called it. I guess they were trying to assemble a full team for the brothel Olympics or something like that. Emily looked like a promising recruit to them. Could she have been cheating our entire relationship? Sure. But if she was, she definitely didn't mention it to her friends. And judging by the kind of people they are, I don't think she would have a need to hide it from them. I honestly, at this point, whether she cheated once or 100 times before that night, I don't care enough to find out. Yeah, at this point, you're done with her and all that. I mean, it'll make it worse. Honestly, it will be worse if you found out that she was, because then you think all those years you didn't know. But what's done is done. Anyhow, we did go to different colleges, but we were not long distance. I live in Morgantown. It's not huge, but it's not a small place either. I won't say which colleges we attended for privacy reasons, but they were close enough that we saw each other 3 to 4 times a week on average. Well, that's good to hear you didn't do long distance, you know? It made things a lot easier, because if you did long distance, there was just no way. My friend being at the same club that night was a complete coincidence. Someone in the comments said that the Lord himself didn't want this marriage to happen, so he arranged it. Maybe that's true, though the idea of the Holy Father sending my bro to a male dance club did make me laugh out loud, though. I'm definitely going to hell. Anyway, since a lot of people asked, yes, I treated him afterwards. But all he wanted was some Korean fried chicken. He also got a trip to Bali out of it. I'll call him Liam from now on. A lot of people also asked whether I informed the boyfriends or husbands of Emily's friends about what they were doing. Aha! Yes, that was very important. Well, all of them were single. Or at least they were at the time of the bachelorette party. I have no idea what their relationship statuses are now. There you go. Emily, his now ex, was the only one in a serious relationship. All her Hobag Brigade friends were single. What's the joke about something to the effect that women keep each other single or something like that? Right there. They were probably jealous and envious at what she had. Because our guy here, he described himself as 6'5" or something, 220, in good shape, a gym bro, makes darn good money. You know they were jealous and screwed the whole thing up for her. We know it. Maybe I was blind, but Emily's friend group never really seemed like a massive red flag to me. Other than the fact that none of them could hold a long-term relationship, they seemed normal. Well, right there. What does that tell you? I never heard rumors about the stuff they bragged about in the group chat. They dressed normally too. Not conservative, but not like hookers either. They weren't even blue-haired feminists or anything like that. Whenever we met, they were all very friendly. Maybe they were masters of disguise, or I'm just really that stupid. No, dude, believe me, I would tell you if I thought you were stupid. You're not. They were masters of disguise. They all are. The things I've been hearing over the years and things I experienced in my personal life, I mean, they all could be. Maybe that's why so many women are obsessed with Hollywood and want to watch the fucking Golden Globes and the Oscars, because they themselves are master actresses. Well, after talking to my parents, I missed a part. Where I left off, the morning I confronted Emily. Aha. I left with my brother and stayed at his place for a while. I canceled the wedding, informed relatives, all that fun stuff. After talking to my parents and siblings, they basically reacted the same way my brother did. My parents and older sister lived nearby, so they said they were coming to see me. I think it was a Saturday, and as the youngest of 6 kids, my entire family still treats me like the baby, if you couldn't already tell. I never thought that you were babied. It's just that they cared about you. End of story. I mean, this is life-changing, man. After that, I turned off my phone and went to sleep. When I woke up, my parents and sister were already there. My sister-in-law told me that Emily had showed up at the house. I asked what happened, and she told me that, and she said that she told Emily she wasn't welcome there anymore, and she would call the police if she didn't leave. Nice. Emily was a sobbing mess, begging to see me. My older sister had just arrived. At that point, let us call my older sister Jane. Jane has a bit of a temper problem. According to my bro, Jane came storming outside and yelled, how about you see my fist up your ass, you cheating bitch? And was about to lunge at Emily. My brother had to physically restrain her. He role-played Jane when he told me the story. For a moment, he was the one who was about to get on the receiving end of that fist. I generally don't know how her husband deals with her, that poor fella. So your sister Jane sounds like one hell of a good ally to have on your side. And someone you don't want to have as an enemy. Emily ought to know. Clearly Emily left after that. Anyway, whether that scared Emily off or not, she left. I turned my phone back on and started sorting things out with family and friends regarding the wedding. I stayed with my brother while I was apartment hunting. He's a real estate agent and managed to get me a current apartment for a pretty good deal. Emily's parents took her home, she took time off work, and eventually resigned. Whoa! So now she's unemployed? Well, in a moment you're going to see why she's unemployed, because there ain't no way she's going to hold down a job and number crunch as an accountant. Well, for a while, Emily's mom would call me every so often to give me updates about her. Hello, I'm not interested in updates about your awful rotten daughter. Every call started the same way, asking how I was doing, then telling me how devastated Emily was, and eventually asking me to, wait for it, reconsider or at least talk to her. I'd be like, I told you the other 15,000 times that we're not reconciling, we're not getting back together. You know what she did? Do I need to show you proof? You see, her mom obviously had hopes and dreams of you being together and big wedding and, you know, the grandkids and all that. And that's all now tarnished. Remember, as much as you were close to her mom and dad and they were good to you, believe me, Emily is the top priority. And what she wants is the top priority. Never forget that. To her credit, she never handed the phone to Emily, but after a while, it became annoying. I only answered out of respect because her mom had always been treating me well. Eventually, though, I had to tell her to stop updating me because I was trying to move on. I said Emily needed to do the same thing because there was never going to be a reconciliation. That's good, man. You were respectful, but when it got to be so ridiculous, you had to lay down the law. But, newsflash, she ain't going to back down so easily. Well, she finally got the message and stopped calling. For now. Then I started receiving calls from unknown phone numbers. Every time I answered, it was Emily. I blocked one number, and then another would appear. Eventually, I stopped answering unknown calls entirely. I talked to her dad about it. He said he'd look into it, but nothing really changed. They're forcing your hand. You don't want to go down the restraining order route, amongst other things, but what alternative? You can't move on with being bombarded with fucking phone calls all the time. And there's going to be other methods. You need to get Jane involved. Send Jane to her parents' house. Send Jane after Emily. I'm sure Jane is like your freaking Luca Brasi. That's what you need. At the end of the day, she was still his daughter. Emily was also in a really bad mental state, and I think he didn't want to push her too hard. I finally told him that if this continued, I'd file for a restraining order. He asked me not to, and once again, emotions got the better of me, so I held off. Instead, I changed my phone number. Again, I know you're trying to be respectful to these people, and they were basically your family, but enough's enough. Let's see how that goes. You also asked why I paid for the wedding, if the bride's family traditionally covers that. Emily's dad was close to retirement age, and her mom did not work. He was comfortable financially, but not rich. I could afford it, and I didn't want to put that burden on him, despite him insisting. I was trying to be a good future son-in-law. Well, that's very good of you, man. He did pay for the honeymoon, though. We were supposed to go to Bali. February falls within the rainy season there. Call me gloomy, but I actually like the rain, and that's why I picked it. As an apology, Emily's dad didn't cancel the trip. He still wanted me to go. Wow, that's very nice. But it's going to be kind of weird going on what was going to be the honeymoon and everything like that. Well, I accepted and took my bro Liam with me instead. Honestly, I was miserable. That's what I thought was going to be. So Liam, the bro that saw her out and told you what was going on. So you got Korean fried chicken and a trip to fucking Bali. What a nice deal. Emily and I had planned everything together. Where we wanted to go, what we wanted to do, and I spent the whole trip thinking about it. See, should have canceled it, or maybe took those tickets and cashed them in for something else, and a trip to someplace else other than Bali. But what's done is done. Well, I did hook up with a hot Filipino while I was there, but the trip was still a bad idea overall. Well, at least you got laid. And please tell me that that Filipina was indeed a woman, or born a woman. A lot of that going on. At least my boy had fun. When I got back home, I moved the rest of my stuff out of our old apartment. Thankfully, Emily was still living with her parents, so I didn't have to see her. So now you're going, I guess, a couple months now, and you haven't seen her. A few weeks later, one of Emily's friends ambushed me. There's a bar my friends and I like to go to from time to time. I completely forgot that one of Emily's friend's cousins works there as a bartender. When I saw her, I thought about leaving, but for some reason, I stayed. Well, you're thinking, I'm not going to leave this place I like to go hang out with my bros. Well, watch what happens. What's about to happen, gentlemen? It's not going to surprise you. About a half an hour later, I heard someone screaming my name. It was the Sergeant Major of the Horror Brigade herself. She immediately started cursing me out, calling me a cruel bastard for abandoning Emily and asking if she knew how bad she was doing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it wasn't Emily that cheated on you, and it wasn't this bimbo and her friends, pack of harpies, that helped instigate this whole thing, even though it was Emily's choice to do that, and cheated on you. And that is why you ended it with her. And you're the bad guy and she's cursing you out? Women and accountability. Well, she was making a huge scene. These women really do love public spectacles, don't they? Yes, they do. They love drama. I should have just walked out, but I got angry instead. I was the one who got cheated on, and now I somehow was the villain. Correct. And yes, you should have walked out. You shouldn't have to leave the place you're having a good time, but this broad just wants drama, and she's going to get it. But when somebody's yelling at you in your face, it is very hard not to verbally or something else respond. I told her Emily was the one who cheated on me. She and the rest of her slutty friends actively pushed for it. So how exactly was I the bad guy for breaking up with her? Dude, you're playing into her hands. You're playing into her. This is what she wants. She says, everybody makes mistakes and I should forgive Emily. Last time I checked, it wasn't a mistake. This is a well-planned out thing. Then she accused me of never really loving Emily because otherwise I wouldn't throw away a 14-year relationship, and she told me I'd regret it. Number one, Emily threw away the 14-year relationship, and number two, how's this dude gonna regret it? Like our guy here, he said he's 6'5", 220, hits the gym, makes darn good money. I'm sure he has zero problem getting chicks. He just better be careful, given his income and all that. But still, he's gonna regret dumping a freaking cheater. Then she said I wasn't exactly a saint either, and claimed that I've been cheating on Emily for years. Man, again, the Borg hive mind, they all say the same shit. I asked her if she was out of her damn mind. Clearly. That's what the syphilis is doing to her brain. That's when she brought up Liam. They knew I went to Bali with him, probably stalked my socials. Is she trying to say that you're hooking up with your gay friend? A lot of dudes have friends that are gay, and doesn't mean they're hooking up, for God's sakes. After knowing I took Liam with me, they somehow came to the most logical conclusion of all human history. That Liam was my secret lover, and I was cheating on Emily with him the entire time. I just stared at her for a second, completely dumbfounded. Then I bursted out laughing. I honestly don't think I've laughed that hard in months. You know what? You needed a good laugh. And you laughing at her probably pissed her off. My buddies, being the a-holes that they are, immediately started commenting things like, "Congrats on coming out of the closet." And so, when is the wedding, bro? Meanwhile, Liam just sat there looking like his brain had completely shut down while trying to process the accusation. It's funny. This is funny as hell, but I mean, this doesn't surprise me at all. At least by engaging with her, and in hindsight, you shouldn't have done that. You had a funny story about this whole thing. You gave your buddies entertainment for the night. Well, after that comedy show, my anger mostly disappeared. Me and the guys left the bar. Emily's friend was still spouting nonsense, but I didn't bother with it anymore. Good, I'm glad you left. And I guarantee you, if you would have stayed there, she just would have kept going and going and going. I haven't seen Emily face to face since that day I confronted her. She doesn't know where I live now. I also work from home. So she started showing up at my parents' house instead. My dad has been firm about the whole thing, same with my mom. They told her exactly what my sister-in-law told her. She wasn't welcome there anymore, but Emily wouldn't stop. Like I said, get Jane involved. Emily wouldn't show up again. I think it's time for a restraining order. Eventually started wearing my mom down emotionally. She never once told me to take Emily back. She knows I made my decision and will not change it. But she did ask whether I'd talk to Emily for closure because of how bad she looked. No. What closure, Mom? There's no need for closure. I think deep down, secretly your mom is hoping you guys will reconcile. I'd be careful with what your mom has to say, man. My mom was worried Emily might hurt herself. My mom had known her since she was a teen, so obviously there were still some sentiments left. I was not going to do that. I didn't know how I'd react if I ever saw her again. Plus, I don't owe her anything. No, you don't, man. I finally decided to lawyer up and file a restraining order. We saw this coming. I can only imagine the fireworks are going to start now. You held off as long as you could. There is no way I would have waited that long. Most guys wouldn't have. But you were doing what you could. Let's see what happens. Emily's parents were angry at first, but eventually they understood why I did it. Or at least her dad did. They couldn't contact me directly anymore because I changed my phone number. So they called my parents to express their dissatisfaction. Oh, fuck them. You did everything you could to hold off and be patient, and still nothing. She forced your hand. I'll give them credit. They were really trying to control Emily. Are you sure about that? That doesn't sound like they're trying to control her to me. The problem was that she wasn't listening to anybody. Things stayed peaceful for a while. Then April 20th came around, my birthday. Yeah, I know who else was born that day. I went out with friends that evening when my mom called me. Emily had tried to off herself by cutting her wrist. Oh my God. On your freaking birthday? That was intentional. What a snake. That morning, her mom called her for breakfast. When she didn't answer the phone and wasn't picking up, her dad broke down the door and found her. She was hospitalized immediately. She survived and now wanted to see me. For God's sake, that was all part of the plan. Look, I said this before and I stand by this. If somebody really wanted to end themselves, they'd do it. Otherwise, it's a cry for help or they're trying to manipulate you. And that's what's going on here. And I have a question about, I'd love to know the details of those cuts. Seriously. It's one thing to get the kitchen knife, the big knife that you chop up vegetables with and go and look like Wolverine fucking did a job on you, in which you would probably be done very quickly. Or if she got like the little pink razor she uses in the shower to shave her legs and say, slit, little tiny little cuts. Yeah, that'd make some blood and it would scare people and you'd go to the hospital and probably go to the mental ward. I'm guessing it was probably option B. Because if it took so long for the parents to get a hold of her and drive to the house and dad break down the door, obviously it wasn't some deep Wolverine style slashing there. It was just enough. That's what I think. And I know maybe some people think I shouldn't be joking around about this thing, but seriously, this is what was going on your birthday. To totally manipulate you to get what she wanted. It's unreal the lengths they'll go. Her mom asked me to visit her. I didn't outright refuse because my mom was getting emotional. And like I said, Emily had basically been another daughter to my parents until recently. Eventually, I called Emily's dad using a VoIP number because I didn't want to share my personal one. In hindsight, this was stupid, but I agreed to talk to Emily over the phone. Smack! She got what she wanted. I know you're a decent guy and you don't want anybody to die over these things and all that, but you're playing into her hands. But we get to all hear the song and dance Emily's about to give him. I didn't want to see her in person because I was afraid old feelings would act up if I saw her again. That's wise. Sometimes I wish I was like the OPs in some of your videos. The ones who find out that their significant other cheated and they just switched up their emotions instantly. Unfortunately, I couldn't do that. Most guys can't do that, man. And I'm sure probably some guys might exaggerate a bit on that. I mean, some people can completely go indifferent like that. But I think that most are like you. 14 years, dude, you're not going to turn it off like a light switch. There's going to be a roller coaster of emotions. You're handling yourself quite well. Well, we talked for hours. Hours, dude. I won't bore you with the details, but I'll try to summarize with the best of my ability. To no surprise, Emily started off with the cliche excuses for what she did. Then she offered me anything and everything. She claimed that she felt overwhelmed by pressure from her friends, and part of her was curious about what it would like to be to sleep with somebody else. I asked whether she'd been unhappy with our SCX life. She said no. She said it was perfect. What a load of crap. Honestly, these days, I'm not even sure if I can call myself kinky or not, but I always try to keep things exciting between us. After being together that long, things can become rather boring. As long as we both were comfortable with it and there really wasn't anything off limits in our bedroom. I mean, yeah, 14 years, the same gal. I mean, I'm guessing probably in junior high you weren't getting it on just right away, but probably by high school you were. Yeah, you know, but still. You thought you didn't cheat. Certainly not with your friend. So, okay. That was that. You loved her and all that, and that was all mattered to you. But, again, her not knowing what she was thinking. But what she wanted was just somebody different. Then she started telling me things like the SCX with the stripper guy was awkward and I was bigger than him. Sure. I know she was trying to play my ego. Yes, she was. But it had the exact opposite effect. I felt sick thinking about it and just told her to shut up. She apologized and dropped it. When I asked her about her friends, here's the good part, guys. When I asked her about her friends, she told me that they weren't originally like this. Yeah, sure. Apparently one of the women in the group, let's call her Amanda, was married and started having an affair with a coworker. At first, the others supposedly tried to talk her out of it, but eventually Amanda's stories about how exciting it was got to them. Being a streetwalker is contagious disease nowadays, huh? That is a big pile of crap that they weren't like this before. And I can actually kind of believe that the one was cheating on a husband and they all knew about it, not to mention didn't tell him, and thought it was exciting. And Amanda, I do think she was probably, trying to sway and be like that. I wonder if Amanda was the one who was yelling at him at the bar. Emily insisted she never did anything like this before, and it was one time. She even offered to take a polygraph test to prove it. I asked her if she knew if her friends were morally bankrupt, and why stay friends with them. She said she didn't know. They've been friends for so long that she'd just gotten used to it. There you go, that's my point. Again, by nature, women are much more social beings than us guys. Don't get me wrong, we like to have a good time, and we have our bros, but women really, the social scene is vastly more important to them and their friend group, even if it's toxic and drama. And I'm sure she loved the drama. She got to hear about all the drama, what they were doing, and all that. And there ain't no way she was keeping things quiet. I mean, and obviously she was keeping things quiet when the friend was cheating on the husband. Then I asked her, oh, this is good. Then I asked her whether she covered for them when they were cheating. She was silent, which answered my question. Right there. All along when they would have boyfriends or the one had a husband, she knew what was going on, and she kept quiet about it, which says it's okay. That says everything about her character. This should just back completely why it's a good idea to be done with her, regardless of that she cheated that one time, which still we can debate and argue whether it was one time. I then asked her what her grand plan was, keep cucking me and hope I never found out, and she said no. According to her, this was only supposed to happen one time. Bullshit. Once you got a taste of the you-know-what, that wouldn't have stopped. Her friends convinced her it was something that she needed to do to get it out of her system, and that's absolute bullshit. She would have continued. But again, women keeping other women single, or whatever the hell that line is. If she could cheat on me one time and get away with it, she would do it again. Even thinking about that conversation still raises my blood pressure. At some point, I'll admit my anger got the better of me again, and I said some things I probably shouldn't have. I think anger issue runs in my family. Bro, you have every right to say whatever the hell you want to say. I mean, some people might say, well, given that she was slicing her wrists and cutting her wrists in the hospital and all that, you don't want to set her off, but you have a right to say what you got to say to her. Well, she didn't argue back. Well, that's a first for a woman. She just listened quietly. Again, that's a first for a woman. Then came the begging. She offered me literally anything if I would take her back. She'd cut off all her friends, give me complete access to her phone and devices, let me have a one-sided open relationship, regular three-ways, whatever I wanted. Here's a question. Why didn't she cut off those friends before? When clearly she knew they were trouble and a problem. Now why is she doing it? And give access to her phones and all that? Well, how do you know that she doesn't have secret apps that she thinks she won't find out? Or a burner phone or something like that? And as for a one-sided open relationship in three ways, offering you up on the freaking auction block, doesn't sound like she loves you too much to me. It shows that the SEX is transactional to her. I told her the only thing that she could do to get me back was unfuck that guy. If she could do that, we could make a deal. She started sobbing. Don't mean to brag, but I'm a pretty good-looking guy if I say so myself. I got plenty of attention from gals throughout our relationship. Of course, I was always also curious, but would it be like to hook up with somebody else? But not once did I ever want to F somebody else to get that curiosity out of my system. I only wanted her. And that's the difference between the two of you. And you didn't mention it, but I'm guessing probably your friend, I mean, maybe some of your boys were probably giving you a little shit, one girl, but I would highly doubt that they were actually trying to pressure you, to cheat on her. She said that she only wanted me and that she loved me. Really? She has a funny way of showing it. What happened was the biggest mistake of her life. She said that she'd spend the rest of her life trying to make it up for it. Again, all this shit from the Borg hive mind that they all fucking say. I told her I didn't want her anymore. Mistake or not, she made that decision willingly. Her friends may have influenced her, but at the end of the day, she chose to do it. Amen. I told her that I could never trust her again, and even if somehow I could, I could never forget what she did. Then I told her that if she truly loved me, the best thing she could do for me was leave me alone and let me move on with my life. And she can move on with her life. I also told her to cut off those friends and do not do this to another poor bastard one day. That's going to be a test. But now that you're broken up and she lost you, there ain't no way she's leaving that friend group. Well, that is the most that I remember. I never once told her we'd get back together, but Emily seems to have gone batshit crazy after that phone call. She's now telling people we'll get back together. Yep, she's lost it. You better be careful. Our parents became friends over the years. Even though things are strained now, they still talk from time to time, especially our moms. Watch out for that, dude. Emily moved out of our old apartment and completely moved in with her parents because they didn't want to leave her alone for the time being. That's probably smart on her parents' part. Her parents are seriously worried about her mental health. My mom told me the walls of Emily's room are covered with pictures of me and us together. Oh boy. I blocked Emily on Instagram, but I know she still stalks me. Last week I posted a picture with a girl that I started seeing casually. Uh-oh. Here come the fireworks. I figured maybe that would finally get the message that I moved on. Then a comment appeared from an account using Emily's name and said, "Make sure my hubby was fun." I copied and pasted that. What the fuck? The restraining order is still active. I checked the account, and besides the name, there wasn't anything proving it was actually Emily. Please, dude, it was Emily. But I'm 99% sure it was her. I blocked that account. Then another one appeared. Now I keep getting weird comments on every post I make. At this point, I'm getting a little scared. This is starting to feel borderline psychotic. Now I'm worried that I might get stabbed in my sleep someday. I just hope this is a phase and she gets over it soon. I've been on a flight for the past 11 hours and I'm exhausted. Hope this turned out readable. Mike. Damn, dude. Holy crap. Well, I appreciate you writing in so quickly, but again, you were on a flight and had internet access, so you have plenty of time to watch the video and write this up, so I appreciate it, and all the guys do. But like I said, man, one day at a time, and it sounds like you've been handling this great. But I want to come back to the part about your mom and her mom. It's terrible that one can't trust their parents. It sounds like you can absolutely trust your dad. I'd be careful with your mom. And here's why. I've done stories about this where there's a breakup, and then the guy's mom and the mother of his ex-girlfriend or wife, they were still talking, and they were still hoping, and then eventually conspiring to get people back together. I would not put it past your mom and her mom, either out of their own personal selfish self-interest or desperation for her not ending herself, to try to get you back together. So I'd be very careful about that. Just keep your eyes peeled, and, it's a shame, but I got to say that, and make sure your dad is aware of these things, because I've heard stories where it doesn't go well from there, and probably some of you guys have heard stories like this. I've covered that. But aside from that, just watch your back, when you're out, when you're going anywhere, stuff like that, when you're on dates. She's going to the next thing is she's going to probably try to find out who this girl is, or any girl you might see, and try to scare them off. I still say you need to send your sister Jane after her. I don't think there'll be any more bullshit after that. And you may have another incident where Emily does something crazy and gets herself put in the hospital. If she does, do not go see her. Do not call her this time. You did it that one time. That's enough. Because she's going to pull more shit, the way she's reacting here, it's like, and how pretty much her whole life is shut down, is over. You think she would have thought twice about doing what she did. But it is what it is. It's not your problem. You went above and beyond that I certainly would have, or most of the guys would have, for her parents and all that, after this whole thing, and you owe them nothing at this point. And again, I think restraining orders go for a certain while, and if you ever have to renew it, and they throw a temper tantrum, fuck them. At this point, I'd be a lot less kind about the whole thing. But anyhow, man, good luck to you. I'd love to hear down the road positive things, that the bitch finally got over you and moved on, and that you're doing well. So 6 months to a year down the road, I'd like to hear from you, man. I really would, because you've been through hell, but you're handling yourself great. The way you handled yourself upon finding this out, and afterwards, it's like someone that had heard these stories before. And then you found my channel afterwards. And by the way, shout out to your buddies that sent you over to here. Good guys that sent you over here. So, man, one day at a time, you're going to be all right. And no one will blame you after this if you never want to get married or a serious relationship. But it sounds to me that you are a relationship guy. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been with her for 14 years and only hooked up with just her. And that shows something about your character. You're loyal, and commitment is important to you. So just be careful out there, and you do very well for yourself. Don't flaunt your wealth. because that will be attracting the gold diggers in every goddamn fucking direction from here to the fucking Bali. Be careful there. So, man, good to hear from you. Good luck, and hopefully the next time I hear from you, it'll be positive news. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Again, give this guy a shout out. Give him some love. Give him some praise. He's definitely earned it. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.